For the second consecutive week, WVU has lost a defensive starter to the transfer portal. Let's go. What's going on, Mountaineer Nation? Jordan Cruz back here with the Country Roads webcast. And before I get into this video, I just wanted to ask you to do us a quick favor. Hit that subscribe button. Helps us, it helps you. We can get more of this Mountaineer football content out through Mountaineer Nation. With that being said, let's get into it. For the second time in as many weeks, West Virginia has lost a defensive starter, and this time it was the team's leading tackler, Josh Chandler-Semedo. This one comes as a big surprise. Not a lot of people saw this one coming. Leading tackler for the Mountaineers last season. One of the leading tacklers in the Big 12. I think he finished first or second in the conference in tackles. And also was kind of the de facto team leader a lot as the voice for that defense last season. I know last season when West Virginia was struggling at 2-4, he said, he wasn't going to go out that way. The team didn't want to go out that way. And he is actually the one that organized a players-only meeting following that 2-4 start, which led to the 4 wins in the final 6 games and getting bowl eligible, and he was very vocal in that movement and was a team leader during that time. So this one comes as a big shock to see him enter the transfer portal so suddenly and so late in the game, as we're getting close to the start of spring practice now as well. And there's really no way to sugarcoat this one. This one hurts. As I said, it's your team's leading tackler, one of the defensive leaders, someone that you were really excited to get back that you weren't expecting to be back. And that's kind of the funny part of all this is all along Josh Chandler-Semedo said he wasn't going to come back, utilize that COVID year and come back to be a super senior, but decides to, and then, a couple months later hits the transfer portal, and college football is almost like the wild, wild west. I've talked about it before. Seems like a big issue here at West Virginia. It's a big issue everywhere right now, this transfer portal, especially if it's NIL involved. A bigger program comes along with more money, they can pluck your guys away, so it's really an issue right now. Something's got to give with this transfer portal going forward. Don't know what that will be, but some regulation needs to come either via the conferences or the NCAA themselves. I know I said this is a big loss. This loss hurts, and that's because more than anything it hurts your depth, as well as your leadership on your defense, of course, as already stated. But it's really a depth hit more than anything. But if you want to look at a silver lining, here's a silver lining. West Virginia expected Josh Chandler-Semedo to leave following last season. They had recruited players that they thought would be his replacement in the middle. Mainly one that you can think about is Lee Koba, the junior college transfer, was at Syracuse, then went to junior college ranks. That's a guy that they had penciled in kind of to fill that spot of Josh Chandler-Semedo. Still have Lee Koba. He was going to be more of a reserve role now, but now he's going to probably take on a main role there in the middle as the team's Mike linebacker. Or you do have experience at will linebacker with Lance Dixon and Exree Lowe. Maybe potentially now Lance Dixon slides over to the Mike and Exree Lowe takes on that start at the will linebacker position. I think that's your 2 most likely scenarios probably. Is you're either going to see Lee Koba in the middle now, or Lance Dixon's going to slide over into that middle. But the silver lining there is both of those players are more athletic than Chandler-Semedo. Chandler-Semedo, a really smart player, really fundamentally sound and a great tackler. But when you look at guys like Lee Koba and Lance Dixon, they're more in the mold of what Tony Fields was before Josh Chandler-Semedo, guys that can run all over the field, be very athletic, and will be a little bit better in pass coverage than what Josh Chandler-Semedo was. That was his one weakness. But regardless of the silver lining, this is a loss for West Virginia that does hurt, and I don't want to say they're reeling from, because they have had pieces in place prior to when they thought Chandler-Semedo was leaving. But this hurts your depth. This hurts your leadership on defense. You hate to lose a guy like Chandler-Semedo who had over 100 tackles last season. Wish him the best wherever he lands, though. But what are your guys' thoughts on the departure of Chandler-Semedo and the transfer portal in general? Do you love the transfer portal? Do you hate it? However you're feeling, be sure and let us know in the comments. Interact with us here as we continue to try and grow through Mountaineer Nation. And one more time, do us a favor if you haven't already. Hit that subscribe button. It helps us. It helps you. It helps this Mountaineer football content get out to all of Mountaineer Nation. That being said, as always, I'm Jordan Cruz, and until next time, let's go Mountaineers. I don't want to see your face.